Welcome to NocBro Nation, guys. Jarrell here, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing a possible CRM conspiracy that has been going on for quite some time and just recently came up in the latest episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond, where the CRM is trying to delay a possible transition of power to the civilian government, basically backtracking on their founding compact. So if you have not seen the latest episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond, big spoiler warning here, definitely go check out that episode and then come back to this video. So in the recent episode 5 of The Walking Dead World Beyond, we got a really cool newspaper article that had two big articles that gave a lot of information that a lot of fans, including us, missed when we were watching this episode. Now, I remember in the reaction, I did state that, oh, they have a civilian government, but I never really looked at the newspaper because we didn't have time in the reaction. But going through the editing of our reaction and looking at it closely, there's a lot more detail that we did not get and they didn't talk about as much. Now, in the episode, we did get a little bit when CRM Staff Sergeant Jennifer Malik, aka Huck, was talking with her husband Dennis at the cafeteria table, and they have this discussion here.
Civilian oversight after 10 years, part of the founding compact. Thing is, no one knew what the hell 10 years later would look like.
So why is the civilian government pushing for it so hard? And they trust us?
They should. I mean, there's always been friction between the military and the politicians, but we've all bought into what we're doing.
So in that discussion, Dennis mentioned civilian oversight after 10 years. Thing is, no one knew what the hell 10 years later would look like. And Huck actually says, well, why are the civilians pushing more for this? Don't they trust us? That's the big thing. So what is this agreement that we're actually talking about? Some eagle-eyed viewers were able to pause it and read some of the transcripts out of there. Now, part of the transcript quotes Major General Beale, who was saying that he is looking forward to the long-awaited governmental transition. He was asked if the 10-year timeline is still feasible, and Beale is quoted saying, "There are many variables to consider, but I have full faith that when the time comes, we will execute the plan smoothly." So what is this CRM and civilian oversight transition? Well, part of this transcript from the newspaper reads, "A transition of power from the military leadership to full civilian oversight is a bedrock provision of the Civic Republic's founding compact, the foundational document that has guided our city to rebuilding humanity for over 9 years. Authors of the document were in agreement that military autonomy was imperative for the early survival of the CR, as well as its stabilization in the years to follow. So according to this provision, a transition of power would take place after a decade and put the power back into the hands of the people." So this Civic Republic's founding compact, they've had this document since the fall began. And what they agreed upon, they agreed that the Civic Republic military would have full military autonomy in the background to kind of start with the, serums to see basically getting, Dr. Belshaw and other doctors to see if they can find a cure to help bring back humanity. But after 10 years, the Civic Republic military would then transition that power back to the civilian government, which the CR has. They have civilian government, they have politicians, they have Joint Chiefs of Staff, all that kind of stuff, and they would give that power back to the people. Also in that article, pressed to reveal specifics of the plan for the transition of power, Beale remained tight-lipped. Another excerpt reads, "Beale would only confirm the transition is in the hands of the CRM's Joint Chiefs of Staff." So then in the other article that's mentioned, CRM requires emergency delay of civilian oversight. So I wonder why they did that. Well, we know that the Alliance of the Three is now broken from Omaha and the campus colony. So the article must have come out after the CRM falsely gave information stating that a massive wave of walkers took out both Omaha and campus colony. So they are trying to request emergency delays for the civilian oversight to go back to the civilian government, because they basically, the CRM does not want to transition their power back to the civilian government. They want to make sure that they can keep hold of this power for as long as they can. And it's really making the CRM be more evil. They are trying to do whatever they can to come up with a coup, which they've successfully done. They've taken out Omaha and campus colony, and Lieutenant Colonel Kublik has stated false claims that it was taken out by a horde of walkers, which as us, the viewers, and some of our group know the truth that it was the CRM who did this. Even Huck has finally seen the paperwork, and she knows that her mother lied to her face. So it is really interesting that they've had this agreement with the civilian government, but they are trying to backtrack and not allow full power to go back to them. So guys, let me know what you think of this conspiracy. It's actually a pretty insane conspiracy, which seems to be true, but from everything that the CRM has been doing lately by wiping out 110,000 people, blaming it on walkers, and trying to do whatever they can to seize their power, the CRM is a very evil entity, which it's only going to get bigger and crazier as we go on in this universe after World Beyond and after The Walking Dead has ended. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and let's talk about this in the next video. I'll see you next time. I'm Jarrell, and I'm out.